Good evening, everyone. We will now begin the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters, expressing our gratitude to God and Meishu-sama for blessings and protection received while participating in the construction of paradise on earth. Amatsu-Norito and Miroku Prayer, please stand. Taka amahara ni kamsumarimasu.
Kamurogi kamuromi no mikoto no shinte sumemi oya kamuri sanagi no mikoto tsukushi no rimuka no tachi hana no odo no ahagi hara ni misogi hara itamo utoki ni narimasu. Araido no kamitachi moro moro no maragoto sumike kareo harai tamae kiyome tamae toma osukoto no yoshi o amatsu kami kunitsu kami yao yorozu no kami tachi tomoni ame no Fujikoma no mi uritate kikoshime seko kashikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami maori tamae saki hae tamae. Miroku o mikami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami mamori tamae saki hae tamae. Nagara tamachi haemasu. Nagara tamachi haemasu. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Johrei. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu-sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized, with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your grace. Please be seated. We will now receive group Johrei.
Johrei is now concluded. We will now listen to a reading from Meishu-sama's teachings. Education. True education is learning that good deeds bring prosperity and wrong acts bring failure, all according to divine law. How sad it is that present education teaches only surface knowledge, leaving the mind unaware of spiritual truths. The world is so steeped in surface knowledge, lacking the true perception of eternal life. I believe the present system of education makes a great mistake in overemphasizing material learning. Unless spiritual and moral education is given hand in hand with the material, the true aim of education will never be achieved. Spiritual education means awakening people to the existence of spiritual things, above anything else, to the existence of God. This is the essence of spiritual education. Through it, people can learn the spiritual meaning of life and thus bring about the balanced advancement of both the spiritual and the material sciences. Only with this will the eternal peace of the world be born and humanity becomes able to enjoy a paradise-like life.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the evening service of the Miroku Association headquarters. This evening, I have this faith experience I would like to share with you from the Ikebana Sangetsu instructor, Sueli de Melo Oyama. She's from the Oporto Johrei Center, Portugal. Sueli has been a Johrei member for 50 years, and she gives service as an Ikebana Sangetsu instructor at the Johrei Center in Oporto and at the Gaia Johrei group. She would like to share her experience through the practice of planting flowers in pots. Currently, she's part of the nature farming group of volunteers. In their monthly meetings, they read the teaching of God as revealed to Meishu-sama entitled The Principles of Nature Farming. She would like to share her experience through the practice of planting flowers in pots. Currently, she's part of the nature farming group of volunteers. Sueli has been a Johrei member for 50 years, as I said, and in their monthly meetings, while reading the teachings, an excerpt made her reflect on what feelings we should have in relation to plant cultivation. This is the quote from the teaching. Another important point is the prevailing belief that only animate beings are capable of such reflections of will and thought, such as reason or emotion. No doubt the idea that inanimate things are also capable of these things would surprise many people. Yet, it is true of inanimate things, including the soil and crops. Respecting and cherishing the soil enables it to manifest its capabilities fully. Keeping soil clean and free from pollution makes it happy and active. Through her long experience as an Ikebana instructor, she learned from Meishu-sama that plants have life and that we should love and respect them. But she always aimed at the flowers, forgetting that it's the soil that gives her the flowers she loves so much. Usually, she took care of her violets by focusing her attention on the plant. Every morning, she greeted them with a good morning, watered them when necessary, constantly confirming her love and affection for them. However, she did not express her feelings of gratitude to the soil, which is responsible for their lives. After the last meeting, she changed her feelings and attitudes when greeting the vases in the morning. She started to thank the soil that was in the pots and to have a thought of love for the plant. The violets, being delicate, were bought at the florist, come with many flowers, but over time it stops flowering and even dies, since as a rule they use chemical products to stimulate its blossoming. With the violet vases she has at home, she used their leaves to form other vases. She treated them lovingly, but she wasn't getting them to blossom. Having already had the experience of seeing her violets dying, her anticipation with these vases was quite high. To her surprise, after this daily practice of gratitude to the earth and the vases, she had the joy of seeing a small flower bud in one of them. Today, she observes that in the daily practice of her life, everything is related to Mother Earth. In preparing the arrangements and in her activities, she was allowed to recognize that all the materials she uses, such as the vase, water, and plants, are only possible thanks to great nature, and this increases her feelings of gratitude. With this experience, Sueli learned that she must constantly renew and expand her feelings of gratitude to God, Meishu-sama, and to the great nature. Even in daily tasks at home, such as preparing food, taking care of her garden, and making flower arrangements, she recognizes that she must keep these feelings with the soil and with all the things that surround her, and that makes her realize the greatness of the Supreme God. Thus, with this feeling of gratitude always present in her heart, she wants to continue to fulfill her mission. She expressed her gratitude to God and Miroku for another great lesson. Eu falo Sueli from Oporto, Johrei Center, Portugal. And another experience I would like to share is from Marcia Helena Matos Paiva Souza. She's from the Litorânea Johrei Center, Maranhão, Brazil. Marcia Helena has been a Johrei member for 41 years, and she currently gives service as a family assistant and in various sectors of her Johrei Center. Since she was a child, she has always had a conflicted relationship with her mother. She thought her mother treated her lacking patience, which caused constant conflicts between them. She didn't understand the reason for such purification, since she always tried to act respectfully towards her mother. Although this brought her much suffering, she had never communicated this problem to any minister. Her mother lives in a city where she owns a hotel, which is located about 40 miles from São Luís, where Marcia lives. And although she lives in São Luís, she spends the week helping her mother in the hotel. 2019, the hotel was experiencing financial difficulties, which made their relationship worse, and coexistence became almost unbearable. Thus, she thought it was time to communicate this purification to her minister and ask for guidance. Following the minister's recommendation, she began to pray, surrendering her mother's feelings and attitudes to God and Meishu-sama, placing flower arrangements in her room and channeling Johrei to her every night. She practiced very special donations for the spiritual elevation of her ancestors. At the same time, she sought to develop patience and tolerance, as well as expressing gratitude for her life without judging her mother's attitudes towards her. Gradually, her mother's behavior towards Marcia changed, and she realized that her mother is treating her more gently. In February 2020, Marcia made a pilgrimage to the sacred grounds of Guarapiranga with her eldest son in order to bring light to her ancestors and solve the purification with her mother. This pilgrimage meant a lot to her, as she feels that she has returned to her initial feelings of when she became a member. Upon returning from the pilgrimage, she realized that it had been a long time since she had kissed or hugged her mother. So, arriving at her home, she kissed her and gave her a big hug, which she affectionately returned. After that, everything changed in their relationship, and they started to live together harmoniously. The hotel is being restructured, and the financial condition has improved significantly. She learned from this experience that we must always keep our hearts connected to God through gratitude, so that paradise is realized within us and we can expand it around us. At the same time, she understood the importance of serving the divine work for the spiritual elevation of our ancestors. Marcelena is very grateful to God and Meishu-sama for this great learning and permission to harmonize the relationship with her mother, which has brought them much happier days. Thank you very much for listening to these faith experiences. I wish you a very wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
This brings to a conclusion our evening service. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and have a blessed evening.